The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Shady Rays. Shady Rays is having their best deal of the year. Go to shadyrays.com, use the code SGPN for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. We're also brought to you by SGPN's Draft Week. All week long, SGPN is you covered with draft props, mock drafts, and our live NFL draft watch party. Make sure to smash that subscribe button at youtube.com/sports gambling podcast. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne, northeast of England. Today is Monday, the 24th of April, and we are here for a full lineup, 15 games MLB action on Tuesday, April the 25th. First up from Houston, Texas, the machine, Mr. Munaf Manji. Munaf.
Hey, Mal, how's it going? Good to be here with you guys. Another week of baseball. Hopefully, like I mentioned, we can get some more winners for our listeners. It's been a pretty good start to the season, so hopefully we can keep chugging along here, gentlemen.
And our third wheel tonight is Mr. Noah Bennick. Noah, what's happening?
What's going on, Malcolm? I'm doing pretty well. You know, I got one of my teams surprisingly on top of the NL Central and one of the teams surprisingly on the bottom of the AL Central. So, you know, some good and bad baseball, taking it all in. Let's go.
Yeah, loving a bit of the Pirates at the moment. Munaf said it's been a good start, which it has, but my lock and dog, the old spreadsheet of doom, took a bit of a hit this week. I couldn't get anything over the line this week. I was like, the weekends, busier. I know everyone's doing all sorts of stuff. There's lots more sport going on. I was at the Newcastle match yesterday and got myself full of beer and rum. But I took a hit. I just couldn't get a lock or a dog over the line. So I was out of the green numbers for the weekend. Scraped a 5-5 draw with Ryan McIntyre in the D-Gens Fantasy League. So that's all right. Still sitting nice and snugly in third place. But yeah, I feel like it's sorry?
5-4-1. I got a W. 5-4-1 win over Gumby's cousin, I think that is.
Yeah, you never win. Well done.
Oh, come on. My first two weeks I went up against it was Blake and who was the other? It was another SGPN fella.
Oh, and is that your excuse for losing?
I've had a great strength of schedule so far. If you look at all the stats.
Oh my God,
that's incredible! The league in roto leagues.
Boy, we're getting analytical here.
Yeah. If my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle, Noah, but she doesn't. So I don't want to hear it. The YouTube chat is well and truly alive and well. Colby's in there. Good evening, sir. Captain saying, "Oh, Jake, JT's brother." So. Yeah, everyone's getting stuck into each other already in there. So, yeah, I'm all for that. So, Tuesday night, then, is what we are here to look at. We've got a couple of games off the board and 3 games off the board, actually. The pitching ranks seem to have taken a battering again. We've got injuries left, right, and centre. I mean, there's teams already down to their kind of 9th or 10th starter. When you start the season, you kind of know the rotation, and then you might know the 6th guy up or the 7th guy up, but man, there's some teams having to plumb the depths of their minor league system just to get some pitchers going to the mound this week. It's been an absolute bloodbath. We will start with a 6:10 Eastern first pitch. Is the Colorado Rockies at the Cleveland Guardians. Ryan Feltner will go for the Rockies, and Peyton Battenfield, we like him. Gets to start for the Guardians. The Rockies are plus 175. The Guardians are minus 200. And the total is at 8.5. Feltner, 1-2, 6.16 ERA. But if you take his last start, he threw 5 scoreless at Philly. He's been walking too many batters. He's walked at least 3 in every start he's had. So there's an option if you could find an over 2.5 walk prop on Feltner. But I really like his underlying metrics. I think that last start at Philly is more indicative than the poorest starts he's had. Everything's kind of above average except that walk rate. So if you can limit the walk rate I think he's live here. Peyton Battenfield, we very much enjoyed him because of his name when he came up a couple of weeks ago. He has an 0-1 record with a 1.69 ERA through 2 games started. He's had 2 nice starts against the Yankees and at Detroit. However, I'm not sure, I think it's only a matter of time before he gets a shellac, and his fastball sitting at 91. Is that really big league ready? He's given up a lot of hard contact. So Cleveland don't score a load of runs. We discussed that quite a lot. They've been even worse at home, actually, in terms of runs per game as well. So I trust Feltner here to show again what he showed us last time out. I think Battenfield's due a dodgy one. I'm going to open the show here with a big dog. Colorado on the money line, plus 175, Munaf.
I'm not sure if I can get there with Feltner. I think that the pitcher that he was in his first 3 starts is the pitcher that I think we'll see all season. I think the Rockies are 1-9 of their last 10 games, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm wrong about that. Let me double check. I feel like they beat Philly in a couple of games this weekend. No, they actually are. So, I think this team obviously is heading in the wrong direction. Talked a lot about how we're going to fade this team or throughout the years, fading the Rockies on the road where they're a good home team, but they're not a good home team this season either. So it's a big price here for the Guardians. I'd probably just look at the run line for the Guardians here. I think this is the type of opponents where they just kind of stack up the wins.
Noah, how are you feeling about Feltner and Battenfield?
I'm right there with you, Malcolm. I'm not sure what you did here with the stream, but
someone likes looking at themselves. Go on.
What's happened?
Nothing happened.
I think the price is entertaining enough to take the Rockies on the money line here. The Guardians, they dropped 2-3 against the Tigers last week, and this offense in low-scoring games is not going to be enough to win sometimes. Because if the Rockies are able to scratch across 3-4 against Battenfield, or this bullpen that actually has not had the greatest start to the season with a 3.47 ERA, the Rockies could win a low-scoring game, and that's actually where I like it the most. I like the under 8.5 in this one, Mel.
Okay, so it's an under for Noah. Exploring with Dasmurf Taco, great name, by the way. He's throwing out some stats on the Red Sox, which we'll get to in a bit. And Captain saying was Peyton Battenberg does sound like a bloke who lives up the street from me. The Battenberg makes a regular appearance on the Premier League Gambling Podcast. If you ever listen to that, you should do. He's excellent. Really, really good. Recommend it. 6:35 Eastern first pitch. Is that game involving the Boston Red Sox that Smurf Tackle was just telling us about? The Red Sox at the Orioles. Corey Kluber goes for Boston and Kyle Bradish goes for Baltimore. Plus 120 on the Red Sox, minus 140 on the O's. Total is set at 8.5. Noah, you said in the chat that you talked a little bit about this game yesterday and Mountcastle's propensity to hit Chris Sale. But yeah, I've got Kluber going, by the way, here. So
yeah, this was Munaf.
He's talking about Monday night.
He's talking
is that tonight's game?
Yes.
Yes.
Monday's game. Oh, okay, I'm with you.
Mountcastle's just raking right now. Props for him in general are a good idea. But yeah, that's for Monday night's game. And yeah, I co-sign that. Boston Red Sox and Orioles here for Tuesday night. Both lineups have tremendous success against these pitchers. Orioles, they have a 290 batting average against Corey Kluber, and Kyle Bradish has given up a 310 batting average to this Red Sox roster. Rafael Devers sitting 462 with he's 6 for 13, and Alex Verdugo is 5 for 13, hitting 385 against Bradish. Cedric Mullins is 8 for 25, hitting 325 against Kluber, and Anthony Santander is hitting 421, 8 for 19 with the tank. Adley Rutschman, the man, is hitting 308 against Kluber with 2 bombs. So the Smurf Taco, there are your props to eye for Tuesday. We saw these two teams play each other in freezing temperatures on opening day weekend in Boston. Those games finished 10-9, 9-8, and 9-5, an average of 16.6 runs scored in those games. We know these starting rotations are not great for either team. The bullpens have overachieved so far to start the season, but I would co-sign a first 5 over or a full game over here, guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, I actually looked at the Tanner Haug start for Wednesday, sorry. And one of the things I wrote down was the ridiculous scorelines in a lot of those games, 11-5, 14-5, 9-5. So you're absolutely right. And I think Captain Encino's had us for a couple of weeks now on the fact that the Red Sox are going to be an overs machine. I mean, on Bradish, he was on a lot of fantasy radars last week. He was late to the season, came back from injury, but I do struggle to trust Kluber. It's always a bit of a stretch for me to take him. It would have to be in a really favourable spot, and this isn't it.
Yeah, last week I gave you guys that stat that he was dominating. I think it was the Twins roster, and he went out and got shelled in the first 3 innings, like 7 runs.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, there you go. There's your indication then of what you get with Kluber. So I was happy to take the Orioles here. Not a very fancy price, but give me Baltimore at -140, Munaf.
Yeah, it's crazy to see that Corey Kluber has faced the Orioles 7 times since last season. He faced them 6 times last year with the Tampa Bay Rays, I should say. But he's been getting shellacked in those games. 1-4, 6.42 ERA. He's allowed at least 4 earned runs in 4 straight games to the Baltimore Orioles. So I think this might be a game where we do see runs. I think that the Baltimore Orioles definitely do get to Corey Kluber in this game. Not sure I can trust either pitcher though, but I think runs galore over. What do you want to take? First 5 over, Orioles first 5 over. I think that's the way I'm going to attack this game. So I see runs.
Your boy UCapper Sports in the YouTube chat, he's saying that Orioles' first 5 money line wouldn't be a bad look. Bradish is 2-0 so far this season. Yeah. Kluber 0-4 on the first 5 money line.
Yeah, I'll take the run line first 5.
Yeah, Munaf, you turned me on to UCapper after he turned up in the chat a couple of weeks ago, so I gave him a follow, and you were absolutely right. You get unbelievably good daily and nightly stats on MLB. So yeah, one of my favourite followers. Without doubt so far this evening. So nice to see you in the chats this evening, sir. 6:35 Eastern first pitch is the LA Dodgers against the white-hot Pittsburgh Pirates. Noah Syndergaard goes for the Dodgers and Johan Oviedo will go for the Pirates. -140 on LA, +120 on the Pirates. Total is set at 8. Munaf, Pittsburgh too big here?
No. I think we have to remove the poopy name for the Pirates that we kind of dawned, or at least dawned on them last
Drop
season.
the poop.
Yeah, you got to drop the poop on the poopy Pirates, man. They've looked really good. I was completely wrong about this team coming into the year, at least. I know it's only been 23 games, but they look pretty good. Actually, they look really good. This one was simple for me. I'm not really going to dive into all the numbers here. Noah Syndergaard has been really bad so far for the Dodgers. They're 0-4 in all 4 of his starts this season. Johan Oviedo looks really good, at least in 3 out of the 4 starts so far this season. I think he has a .92 ERA over his last 3 starts for the Pirates. He's 2-1 in those situations. I think you're still having to pay the Dodgers tax here if you want to back the Dodgers. I think there's a lot of value here on the Pirates here. Give me the Pirates +120 on the money line here. I think we have the better pitcher. We have the hotter team. The bats are looking really good for this Pirates, and they're playing with some swag here. So give me the Pirates +120.
You're absolutely right, Munaf. This is 100% a Dodgers tax situation. Noah, are you still feeling Pittsburgh?
You know, I don't know if it is a Dodgers tax situation. It might be like, okay, maybe the hype is kind of surrounding the Pirates currently. The Dodgers have the second best OPS in the league against right-handed pitching with an .833. And have we seen enough from Oviedo to really buy that he's turning into the stud? Like, fantasy circles love Oviedo right now. He couldn't be hyped any higher. I think this one kind of smells a little bit. What I'm going to point to you in this matchup, though, is the stolen base props against Syndergaard. Obviously, that's the poster child of the stolen base prop. G1 Bay has 5 during the year so far, and McCutcheon has 3. B-Ray, I don't know if he's off of the bereavement list yet. Might as well check that one before you place it. But G1 Bay and Kutch for sure. Take a look at his stolen base props.
Yeah, it's a big few days, I feel, coming up for Pittsburgh. They've got the Dodgers, then they've got Washington, then they get Tampa. So we should know a little bit better after that. Max Muncy, I think, is deserving of a mention. He's now leading the league in home runs. Everyone's talking about Pete Alonso, but Max Muncy's off to 11 homers. The Dodgers have lost all 4 of Syndergaard's starts. Not necessarily Syndergaard's fault, but equally, you can't get away from the fact that that has happened. And plus money on a pitcher and a team who are in great form, it's just a bit too good for me to want to give up. So, yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh at a price of plus 120.
Sorry for painting the Pete Alonso thing a little bit over this podcast. You have the Mets homer and Dylan, also the Mets closet fan, and Malcolm, and then me, who placed the NL MVP prop on Pete Alonso. So, yeah, that's our fault. But Max Muncy is raking right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make Mal proud here. I think Mal, the Pirates are. I think you can compare them to Aston Villa right now.
Oh wow, okay.
I have no idea what that means.
That's it. Kind of a middle of the road team that are overachieving at present.
Hey, you took the over on that team in the preseason. I was just going to say I'm rooting on them as a fan. So
I think they could be my this year's Baltimore Orioles. We could cash Pittsburgh over in mid-August. They could be the first team over the line, I think, for us this year.
100%.
Shady Rays got you covered from the sun to the slopes with their premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays offers insane protection. Lost and broken replacements, even on day one. You'll get those replaced, no questions asked, so you can wear your Shady Rays with confidence. You can look good and feel good. To date, they have donated over 20 million meals to fight hunger with Feeding America. If you don't love them, they'll exchange or return them for free within 30 days. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the year. Go to shadyrays.com. Use the code SGPN for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. 6:40 Eastern first pitch. Good game, this one. Good series, in fact. The Houston Astros at the Tampa Bay Rays. Luis Garcia goes for Houston, and Drew Rasmussen takes the ball for Tampa. Plus 130 on the Stros, minus 150 on Tampa Bay, total at 7.5. Garcia has a record of 1-2 with a 5.14 ERA. He got a much-needed good home start against the Toronto Blue Jays last time out. I've struggled a bit with Garcia. He's got a really mixed profile. He gets plenty of swing and miss, and actually Tampa Bay are 5th highest. We've got the 5th highest K rate in MLB at the minute, so a K prop's perfectly plausible here for Garcia. Rasmussen had one home start, which was 7 scoreless. He had a bad start at Toronto, which I would suggest is the outlier. Tampa Bay have been absolutely dominant at home. And again, this could be the unit and a half play, but I think minus 150 is a perfectly reasonable price here for Tampa Bay Rays, Munaf.
Yeah, Luis Garcia had a great start in his last game. Obviously, his best start of the season. But Drew Rasmussen's just on a whole other level this season. I know he faced the Astros 3 times since 2021, twice last season. Won 1 game, lost 1 game. But I think I'm going to trust Drew Rasmussen here more over Luis Garcia in this game. Just not sure what you're going to get out of Luis Garcia, right? I think for Drew Rasmussen, you know what you're going to get. But I think there's going to be one of these games, a series where the Astros actually do break the streak of the Rays winning streak at home, whether that's on Monday night or Wednesday night. I just don't think it'll be in this game, but I'm going to back Drew Rasmussen, the better pitcher here as well.
Okay, Noah.
So I'm going to go with the under 8. I'm seeing that at FanDuel right now, minus 115. And also Tampa Bay, they're striking out a bit more, I guess, against lefties. Because against right-handed pitching, Tampa is not 5th. I know I saw that earlier. They are 24th with a 20.5%. So I kind of would go the other way for strikeouts with Garcia against Tampa Bay. But I think he can still go just fine, and I think the under hits in this one.
Okay, 6:40 Eastern first pitch. The Texas Rangers at the Cincinnati Reds. Martin Perez, lefty, will go for Texas, and Luke Weaver goes for Cincinnati. The Rangers are minus 130 The Reds are plus 110. The total is set at 9.5. We'll come across to Noah to lead us off with the Rangers at the Reds.
Luke Weaver struck out 8 Pirates in his first start of the year, but when the ball was put in play on him, it was hit hard. Average exit velocity of 94.3, and he gave up 3 barrels. Now he faces my wagon this year in the Texas Rangers. We didn't bet on them in the preseason because we questioned their health. But when you look at the Rangers now, they have the second best bullpen in the MLB and the third best OPS against right-handed pitching with an 8.11. Martin Perez is 3-1 with a 3.38 ERA, 19 strikeouts, 7 walks, and 21.1 innings pitched. The Reds are 26th in the MLB with a 73 WRC plus against lefties. I'm all over the Rangers here. Money line.
Sorry, me laptop's taking about. No, it's not me. It's just taking a long time to unmute itself. This is an IT department issue. It's not me. Munaf, Texas, Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think that if you take a look at some of the offensive numbers for the Cincinnati Reds over the last 2 weeks against left-handed pitching, they rank bottom 4 or bottom 5 in almost the major statistical categories. And Texas, these are two teams that are going opposite directions. Rangers are hot right now, while the Reds have lost, I don't know, 9 out of their last 10 games or something like that. But better pitcher on the mound, better offense, a team that's struggling against.
Oh boy.
No.
Munaf, we got Robo Munaf there.
Yeah, we did have Robo Munaf there, but it's okay. We're back, I think. I couldn't believe the prices on this one. I thought Texas would be a lot shorter than minus 130. Noah's made the relevant points on Weaver. I didn't expect him. We faded him quite hard last week, and then he pitched really well. But I am not buying it again. Texas have the second highest runs per game in MLB, and Weaver looks ready to give some up. So I actually changed my player from Texas on the run line. Texas on the money line to the run line because I thought it would be a bigger price. But I'll happily take both. So give me Texas minus 130, but the run line at plus 130 if you're feeling exotic. Is a good play as well. Next up, we will find a game that Munaf hasn't handicapped because he is here.
He's here.
Oh, is he back?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay, nice one. Here he comes. So the game is 6:40 Eastern. First pitch between the Seattle Mariners and the Philadelphia Phillies. Logan Gilbert goes for Seattle. Bailey Falter, left-handed pitcher, will go for Philly. The Mariners are minus 125. The Phillies are plus 105. The total is at 8.5. And Robo Munaf, we're back to you.
Robot, I am back. Am I back? Am I good?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Crystal clear.
Sorry, guys.
You're good.
Bailey Falter 0-3 so far this season, I believe, for the I think this ruined when I was handicapping this game, guys. I feel like it's really been struggling. I tried to back them a couple times against the Rockies. I know they won 3 out of 4, but for me, I think you have the better pitcher in Logan Gilbert here. I know the Mariners have been struggling against left-handed pitching as well, like the Cincinnati Reds, like I mentioned in that game, like we just talked about. But for me, I'm gonna back the Phillies here. I think Bailey Falter can find some form here. It's just really overwhelming when you look at some of these batting splits when it's right-handed pitching versus left-handed pitching. That these teams do struggle against those left-handed pitching. And I think Seattle is one of those teams. So I'm gonna back the Phillies here. Give me Bailey Falter and the Phillies on the money line against the Seattle Mariners here.
You sounded really conflicted there, Munaf, and I get you, especially with the Phillies, because again, that you've got to pick your spots with them. I am going to co-sign your pick here. I've got the Phillies here at plus 105. I like Falter's one home start was good, and they have won 3 in a row. As much as they're a hard team to evaluate, so that was kind of enough just to tip the balance. You mentioned the Mariners struggling against lefties, so yeah, give me Falter and the Phillies in this spot. Noah?
Yeah, I'm not wavering from my preseason hunch either. Give me a spot to fade Logan Gilbert. I'm going to take it here early. Seattle, they have the 27th OPS against left-handed pitching with a 627. Philly, they are 4th in the MLB with an 804 OPS against right-handed pitching. And listen to this. So I was hammering the point home about this Philly bullpen just being awful since they've started tinkering with Jose Alvarado as closer. So ever since I think it's like April 16th. So that's what I filtered this in here. Since April 16th, so it's a week, Philly has the number 1 bullpen in the MLB with a 0.75 ERA. So as the dog, I would love the Phillies in the spot. They have the better lineup against the right-handed pitcher than Seattle does against the lefty. Give me the Phillies here, plus money.
Okay, team ride on the Phillies. Good bullpen statage there as well. 7:07 Eastern first pitch. The Chicago White Sox at the Toronto Blue Jays. Mike Clevinger will go for the White Sox, and Jose Barrios draws the start for Toronto. The White Sox are plus 170. Toronto Blue Jays are minus 190. Totally is set at 9.5. Completely unusually yesterday, I talked to a Chicago White Sox supporter coming out of the Newcastle match. There was a couple of Tottenham fans looking particularly miserable walking back down into Newcastle City Centre. And so I was having a bit of chat with them. And one of them had a White Sox jacket on. So it turns out he actually lives and works in Chicago, a London expat. So, and then I said, so you've got 2 dog shit teams to support then? And he looked at me like he wanted to kill me. So that I left it there. We went our separate ways because he hadn't had the best of days and he didn't appreciate my giving him a little bit more stick there. It made me laugh though. So Clevinger, 2-1, 3.26 ERA. The White Sox, since I put them in the 14-day timeout, they actually won a couple of games over the weekend. Had the 4-7, so I think I'd still be a little bit up. We've got 3 more days of this. Clevinger's alternating good and bad starts, so it's really, really hard to know what to expect. If you look at his baseball savant page, there's lots of blue numbers on there, which is never a good sign on his dashboard there. Jose Barrios, 1-3, 6.23 ERA. His last 2 starts have been better. I would like to see it again. The Toronto pitching over the weekend was outstanding. They pitched 20 innings and gave up 1 earned run between Kikuchi, Manoah, and Gosman at the Yankees this weekend. So, yeah, good things from Toronto. Barrios, don't know if he can carry on. I think both pitchers look hittable here. I think the books agree. The total's high. It's at 9.5, but I reckon we can get there. Why not? I'll take the over. Noah, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the over, and I found it at 9 on FanDuel, minus 118 currently.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah, it does. Because Clevinger, actually, let's start with Jose Barrios. The White Sox, because they faced them quite a bit with Minnesota, this roster is hitting 324 against Barrios, up and down. You'll find some nice props here with Benintendi. He's hitting 375 against him. He has a home run. Eloy Jimenez, 391. He has a home run. Elvis Andrews, 333. And Gavin Sheets, 286. So, and then against Clevinger, there was 1 or 2 Blue Jays that I saw. But both bullpens, bottom 10 in the league. Toronto, they have a 4.35 ERA, that's 20th. White Sox, 6.22, that's 28th. And neither really excel hitting right-handers so far this year. Toronto, 737 OPS, that's 11th, and the Chicago White Sox are 691, 21st. So, yes, love this over 9. And like I said, Whit Merrifield is the other guy that hits Clevinger pretty well. He's got a 263 average against him. He's 10 for 38 in his career. So, some nice props, and I expect a good offensive game here.
Yeah, Captain Encino fancies the Blue Jays to do some bits as well. Munaf?
Yeah, I agree everything about what you guys said. I think we see runs in this game. Jose Barrios has actually lost 4 straight starts against this White Sox team as well. So I think a sneaky play could be a White Sox first 5 team total over or full game total over for the White Sox. But I agree. I can't back either one of these pitchers. Mal, you said it that he's been a little more inconsistent in his 4 starts. And Jose Barrios, I mean, he could look great for one start, and then 3 straight starts, he can look like the pitcher that we've kind of used to seeing over the last season or two. So I think we do see runs, and obviously this total is high for a reason. So don't be afraid of it. Take the over.
Also, take steals against Clevenger. Runners are 18 for 19 against him, good for 94%.
7:10 Eastern is one of the 3 games that we've got off the board here. It is the Washington Nationals at New York Mets. Jojo Gray for the Nationals, and it's the Mets. Now, I had Edwin Isite going, but Noah thinks it might be. Is his name Joey Butto? Something Butto.
Jose
Butto. So it's either Isite or Butto. I have got no odds and nothing much to add. Munaf, do you want to tell us about Jojo Gray, or are we going to skip past this one?
Only thing I'll mention about Jojo Gray is that he's looked pretty sharp in the couple starts here for this season for the Washington Nationals. But if you just take a look at his game log against the Mets, he had 2 starts last season against them and then 1 in 2021. In those 3 games, he's 0-2 with an ERA of 12.00. He's allowed at least 4 earned runs in every single one of those starts. He's allowed at least 6 earned runs in 2 of the 3 starts. And then he's also allowed 21 hits. A little less than 20% of those have been the long ball. So I think we see runs by the Mets here. Noah mentioned it earlier. Pete Alonso is on just a rampage right now. Maybe look at his home run props in this game, but I think the Mets will be able to put up some runs against Jojo Gray.
Yeah, Munaf, Pete Alonso does have a home run against Gray in his career. He's also hitting 500 against Gray. A couple of Mets have extreme success against Gray in a small sample size. 6 at-bats for Brandon Nimmo. He's hitting 500. And then also we have Mark Canha. He has a bomb against Gray. He's hitting 333. And then there's one other one. Jeff McNeil, 667. He's 4 for 6 with a home run as well. So some props against Gray for this Mets lineup could be enticing. But yeah, I didn't really grab anything on the rookie pitchers or young pitchers that are getting called up in this game because we really don't know who it is going to be. We had 2 different guys there.
Yeah, fair enough. Brandon Nimmo's one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball at the moment. He's been great. Excellent use of the word rampage as well, Munaf. Big tick for that one. 7:20 Eastern, first pitch is the Miami Marlins at the Atlanta Braves. It's off the board. It's TBD again. Brian Hoeing, we reckon, for Miami, and Charlie Morton for Atlanta. No odds, no totals. Noah, do you know anything about Brian Hoeing?
Yeah, so he's a former Louisville righty, and he's not the guy that Marlins fans may have wanted. He's not their top choice for the call-up because they've got quite a few pitching prospects on the doorstep, but it is what it is, and Hoeing hasn't been too bad in AAA this year so far. He's started 3 games. He has 20 strikeouts, 2 walks in 17.1 innings, a 2.08 ERA. Interestingly enough, Atlanta has the 3rd highest strikeout percentage against right-handed pitching so far this year. So that might not be a bad look for the rookie. If the books are even offering it, they might be cowards here and not offer it for the young kid. But I'll take it a step further, though. Miami, they have a slim chance to win this game if we follow Malcolm's pitcher age trend that he gave out with Chucky Moe as one of his examples last Friday. So if the price is juicy enough, put some pizza money on the fish on the money line here.
Yeah, well, I looked at this is one of those spots where you kind of looked at an Atlanta run line as a lock or something, but I had to back up my like you say, my fade in the old guys. As much as I am the old guy on the show, Charlie Morton was the old guy fade. So yeah, I didn't have much for this anyway. With Brian Hoeing going, that rhymes. Munaf, did you have anything on this?
No, I didn't have anything.
Okay, we will move on to 7:40. Eastern first pitches, the San Diego Padres at the Chicago Cubs. Blake Snell, and I've never ever know his first name. Justin Steele, 2 left-handed pitchers going for the. Why you have a mental block, Jason? Or I call him something else as well. He's always called Justin every week. Every week we come to this, and he's still called Justin. It never changes. The Padres are -115. The Cubs behind Steele are minus 105, and the total is 8.5. Munaf, we'll send this to you.
Yeah, Justin Steele. That's all you need to tell me. I'm backing Justin Steele here. That's my guy, man.
He's a listener to SGPN, Mal. You can at least get his name right.
I know,
just Justin Steele. Just bet the money line and call it a day. He's been off to a great start as far as pitching for the Cubbies, man. Cubbies have been doing real well. Their starting rotation has been doing real well. It's been Marcus Stroman, it's been Justin Steele. Drew Smiley has been he's had a couple great starts against the Dodgers. I think this is another team where obviously you have Blake Snell on the other side, but the Cubs are one of the best teams against left-handed pitching. I'm not putting my money on Blake Snell here, despite I don't know even that he has a good start so far this season. Captain Senna mentioning it in the chat already. Blake Snell walk props. That's always a good bet when he's on the mound. But I'm gonna back Justin Steele here. I really like the numbers of what I've seen from the Cubbies against left-handed pitching. And again, there's like another team in that NL Central. It's getting interesting with how well the Cubs and the Pirates have been playing. So I'm gonna back the Cubbies here. Give me the Cubbies on the money line.
You made my 1 point, Munaf, in my notes here, was that Snell hasn't had one really good start.
Yeah.
He hasn't had any shockers either, but just be better. Blake Snell is always a trap for me, and I'm just not buying it. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. The Cubs for me at minus 105. Noah?
Retweet everything that Munaf said and add in stolen base props for the Chicago Cubs team, because runners are 34 for 41 stealing bases against Blake Snell. That's an 83% clip. And some Cubs to eye, Nika Horner, he has 9 stolen bases on the year so far. And Bellinger, Happ have 4, Swanson has 3. So some good Cubs there. Check out the odds. If it's 250 or above, get a quarter or a fifth a unit on that and let it ride.
We are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. The NBA and NHL playoffs are here. What better way to get down on some player prop parlays than over at Underdog Fantasy? Besides daily NHL, NBA, and MLB games, they've also already got NFL best ball drafts with a guaranteed $500,000 in prizes. Head over to underdogfantasy.com. Use the promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. And NFL Draft Props Contest, part of SGPN's Draft Week. SGPN is holding a free NFL Draft Props Contest exclusively for members of our Discord. It's completely free to join, and the winner gets $250 cash and a $50 SGPN gift card. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord and go to the NFL channel for the sign-up link. 7:40 Eastern first pitch is the New York Yankees at the Minnesota Twins. Nasty Nestor Cortez, lefty, goes for the Yankees, and Joe Ryan starts for Minnesota. Minus 105 on the Yankees. Minus 115 on the Twins. Total is set at 7. Cortez, 3-0 with a 3.09 ERA. Started 4 games, all very, very similar levels of performance from Nestor. He faced Minnesota on the 14th of April. Pitched well in a game that they lost 4-3. No reason why he won't turn out as usual start tomorrow. Joe Ryan's been great. He faced the Yankees on the day before Cortez start, gave up 1 earned run through 7 innings. Joe Ryan's only home start wasn't great, but again, I think that's the outlier. He started 4 games and he's pretty trustworthy. I think both can go well here. That 4-3 game that you saw the last time Cortez pitched looks like a good comparison for something you're going to get tomorrow. The total's about right. I would take a first 5 under. I think we could see a little pitching duel here. So the first 5 under for me, Muna.
Yeah, Yankees have been one of the best teams, or one of the best teams towards the under so far this season. I mean, traditionally they've been a team that you look at back in the over, but the bats haven't really been able to get going. And it's really that I talked about this to Dylan yesterday, that bottom of the lineup for the Yankees just isn't getting it done right now. I know they're missing Sten as well, but Cortez, like you mentioned, he's been good so far for the Yankees. Joe Ryan has been even better for the Twins. I think you're right. We'll see a pitcher's duel here. If you're able to find a 4 as far as that first 5 under, I really like that play as well. Couldn't really bring myself to a side. I think, again, the line is kind of indicative of where the books think these pitchers are at. But I do agree about the first 5 under with you here, Mel.
Noah?
Yeah, I thought this game was super tight. I lean Yankees. And then the two pitchers, they actually are like right at that threshold of like 82% that I like the target for the steals so far this season. Nestor Cortez is allowing runners 8 for 10 stolen bases, but it's small sample size. And also Joe Ryan has a small sample size. Runners are 13 for 16 against him. That's 81%. So those are two interesting props to attack here in this game, because overall I feel like the money line and the total is really dang tight. I'm not going to have anything on this game unless it's a stolen base prop that I find that's a good price.
7:40 Eastern first pitch. The Detroit Tigers at the Milwaukee Brewers. Spencer Turnbull goes for the Tigers. Eric Lauer, left-handed pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers, who are minus 170 at home. The Tigers plus 150. Totals at 8.5. Noah, it's our guy, Spencer Turnbull. What's he going to do?
This is a smash spot for the Brewers.
Okay, fair enough.
So far, I've been wrong about Spencer Turnbull. It's only been 4 or 5 starts off of Tommy John surgery, but listen to this. So this spoke to me. Milwaukee ranks 7th in the MLB for OPS against right-handed pitching with a 777 OPS. That's a lot of sevens. I like that. They just speak to me. I also wanted to take a deep dive into Eric Lauer. So far this year, he's 3-1 with a 4.30 ERA, 19 strikeouts, 8 walks in 23 innings. The line's fine. Maybe too many walks. The ERA is slightly higher than you would like, but here's who Eric Lauer's faced so far this year. The Padres, the Cardinals, the Mariners, and the Cubs. They're all good major league offenses. Now you get the pathetic ball club wearing the word Detroit in cursive on gray threads. They own a 559 OPS against left-handed pitching with a 54 OPS plus against southpaws. Of course, that's last in the league, but they're an outlier. They're so bad. The next worst team has a 64 OPS plus. So I'm on the Brewers minus 1.5. And Lauer's strikeouts ladder them because the Tigers are striking out 30% of the time against lefties this year. So smashing the Brewers minus 1.5 and Lauer's strikeouts.
That is a case beautifully made, Noah. Absolutely watertight. Munaf, do we need any further information?
Nothing else from me.
No, he's absolutely right. I came down on the side of the under, but only because I don't think the Brewers can score 9 by themselves. But yeah, it's the same cat. We're just skinning it in different ways. The thing I did notice about this was the Brewers have gone to 15-7, but very quietly. They seem to have done that under the radar. They've just sort of tiptoed the way along, really.
Hey, I'm trying to spread the word on this podcast.
Yeah.
Trying. Hey, but Garrett Mitchell, can we just get a moment of silence? He's done for the year. IL. Yeah,
you. Every conversation we had about drafts over the winter and early spring, you mentioned Garrett Mitchell. You couldn't go 3 sentences without mentioning Garrett Mitchell too. 9:38 Eastern first pitch is the Oakland Athletics and the LA Angels. We have Mason Miller, the talking horse, will go for Oakland tomorrow, and Griffin Canning goes for the LA Angels. Prices are minus 155, the Angels, plus 165, Oakland. Total is set at 8.5. Munaf. A lot of chat about Mason Miller. What can we expect tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it in his first start. I know Noah was talking about Mason Miller, where he could throw triple digits, and he was doing it consistently for the Oakland A's in his first start. I think that, we talked about Griffin Canning as well. I think he gave up a few to the Yankees in his last start. I believe it was in the first couple of innings there, but I'm not sure if you can put money on this Oakland A's team right now. I think that if you do want to back Mason Miller here, it has to be within the first 5 innings, because Oakland, I believe, does have the worst team bullpen ERA in the entire MLB. I think they're right there with the White Sox, if I'm not mistaken. But I think that for me, Mal, you talked about Griffin Canning. I think that he can be okay. I think you talked about them last week. I think that the Angels right now are in a spot where you have one of the worst teams in the MLB coming in, and if you're trying to stay competitive in that AL West, I think that every loss that piles up is obviously a bad thing for the Angels, but also you're going to have to come to a point where Ohtani, if the Angels don't make the postseason or aren't even the possibility come trade deadline, they're going to have to make a decision on Ohtani. And I think that, again, if they don't make the playoffs this season, he's walking, and you can't let him walk away for nothing. But at least in this matchup, I'm going to go and take the run line -1.5 for the Angels. I think that maybe the A's can keep it tight within those first 4 or 5 innings when Mason Miller's out there. I just don't trust his bullpen. They can come in at any point and give up 3, 4, 5 runs, and the Angels can cover this run line easy. So I'm going to just back the Angels against the A's all 3 games, 4 games, 1.5 this early in this week.
I actually thought Munaf last night at one point. The Oakland, was it? Who did the Angels play last night? Was that Oakland?
Marlins. No, it wasn't the Marlins.
They were behind.
Yeah, and then they hit like back-to-back home.
Yeah, they went back to back. And I was like watching the scores, and I thought that was a really important game because the LA went back to back and got back to 500 again, went to 11-11. And I just thought, if they start to let this slip, if someone just starts picking at the thread, the whole thing could unravel pretty quickly. And it just seemed that for so early in the season, that seemed like a big deal last night. So yeah, Mason Miller was the talking horse last week. There was big money blown on him in fantasy all over the place. In our TGFBI league, there was one guy absolutely just blew his wad, didn't he? He had $1,000 and he spent it all on Mason Miller, Johan Moncada, and someone else, and completely overpaid for all 3 of them. It was quite funny.
He went for $405, Mason Miller, in our fantasy league.
Yeah, that's too much.
He's a pitcher on the Athletics.
Yeah, you're never going to get a win, are you? No. That was part of the handicap here, was that the A's never win. And also, Griffin Canning was kind of the Mason Miller from a few years ago. I talked him up last week. I really, really like his stuff. So I'm going to have to back him again. But yeah, co-sign what Munaf says. The Angels on the run line for me. +110, Noah.
Yeah, I'm going to co-sign a lot of what Munaf said because you cannot back the Oakland Athletics on any sort of money line right now because you can't trust the offense and you can't trust the bullpen. But I do like Mason Miller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first 5 under. Okay.
First 5 under. Barry Penaluna has joined us in the chat. Barry and Munaf. Barry and Munaf sitting in a tree. KISSING. It's all you get out of these two. It's a proper look at the proper SGPN bromance. We need to go and buy ourselves new hats, Noah, because there's going to be a wedding. The first ever SGPN wedding, and it's going to be Barry and Munaf. Make me sick, the 2 of them. 9:40 Eastern first pitch is the Kansas City Royals at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Brady Singer for KC, and Ryan Nelson gets a start for Arizona. +120 on the Royals, -140 on the Diamondbacks. Total set at 9.5. Brady Singer, 1-2, 8.14 ERA. Get up there. 3 shockers in a row. Singer's had. I think we've been on the receiving end of most of them in our league. He's got to go on the watch list, unfortunately, at this point. As much as kind of we did like him a lot, he was on that WBC roster. He gave up 4 home runs against Atlanta 2 starts ago. But the main issue with Singer is he's got all kinds of different problems. It's not just he's giving up the long ball or he's walking too many. He's doing all the different things. It's like put all the problems in a hat and he'll pull one out every inning. Like this inning, I'm going to do this badly. So he's got all the problems going on at once. Ryan Nelson's just about holding his own last time out till a couple of Padres home runs tagged him. For 5 earned in that last start. I mean, it was only on 3 hits. It didn't go too bad. The walks cost him. If he can limit them, he's going to be okay. I can't take KC. So, yeah, I'll put up the D-backs here at -140, Noah.
Yeah, so if you remember the rant that I just had on the Tigers, take it all and put it on the Royals here. Because even if Singer, who I mean, maybe Greinke they would qualify as their ace, but Singer had the best year last year. Even if he does go well, they're not doing anything for him. This team has been pathetic. Like, they have a 570 OPS against right-handed pitching. That's worse than the Tigers against righties. And they have a 57 WRC plus. Again, another outlier. They're 8 points worse than the Tigers. Or actually 14 points worse than the Tigers, 8 points worse than the Nationals. Arizona, they have a 730 OPS. I think this is another one where you cannot back the Royals. The Diamondbacks on the run line, Diamondbacks on the money line has to be one of the two plays in this game.
Yep, he's actually, right, Munaf.
The Royals have the 29th bullpen in the MLB too, 651 ERA.
Munaf?
I'm sorry. I was just going to mention, if you take a look at the final scores in the 4 starts from Brady Singer, I mean, you're seeing a lot of runs in those games. But I'm not going to repeat everything Mal said because he pretty much covered it. But I think it's going to be Diamondbacks in this game. This might be a stack where you just take the run line -1.5, take their team totals over, whether it's first 5 innings or full game. This KC team is just really bad. And I think 75 or 80% of their wins have actually come on the road, where they're like 1-12 at home so far. So it's just a bad situation right now for the Royals.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's horrible. 9:45 Eastern first pitch is the final game on this card. It's the St. Louis Cardinals at the San Francisco Giants. We have Jake Woodford going for the Cards. San Francisco's TBD, although we all think it's Sean Manaea going for the Giants. No odds as a result. Noah, have you got anything on this one? Woodford at Manaea, we think?
Yeah, I think they're holding out the odds because of this reason. 20-mile-an-hour wind out to center field. The Cardinals have the best OPS against lefties with a 924. The Giants, 5th best OPS against righties with a 797. And they also have the 4th worst bullpen in the majors with a 529. When the number opens, got to take the over. And I'd lean the Cardinals here on the money line.
Don't end your sentences so abruptly. You need to take a run up so I can unmute yourself with about 4 seconds to go. It's a skill. Munaf, what have you got?
It seems like the Chicago wind has now traveled or is in San Francisco now, because we're seeing these winds like blowing out to dead center, like Noah mentioned, like 10, 15, 20 miles an hour. And he also mentioned St. Louis has been, if it is Sean Manaea, Cardinals have been doing real well against the left-handed pitching if you just look at their numbers. But and Woodford has been giving it up as well. So I think the one look that obviously no one mentioned there, it is the over. If you had to pick a side, I would probably look at the Cardinals to whether it's first 5 or full game. But I think the more safer play here, Mal, is going to be the over.
First 5 over 2. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw some carry out towards Triple Azali over the weekend. Daniel Vogelbach nearly sent one out, and then Brandon Nimmo sent one right out into that furthest corner down there where homers go to die, but they both managed to carry one out there. I'm out on Manaea. I think his days are numbered. I'm going to put him up as the next one to go down. We had Bumgarner tagged and got rid of him over the first few weeks. So that's now Manaea. Bold. Sorry?
That's bold.
Yeah. It is bold, but I'm an excellent judge, Noah, and a very shrewd handicapper, and I'm not afraid to get out there and tell everyone about it. So, St. Louis on the money line. Don't know what the prices will be, but one of those things. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 15 games, beautifully handicapped. Locks and dogs incoming. We'll come to you first, Noah. What do you have?
Simple here for me. I handicapped both of these games, had the lead on old. I'm going to take the Texas Rangers -130 on the money line against the Cincinnati Reds. The Rangers, they have the 2nd best bullpen in the MLB, the 3rd best OPS against right-handed pitching with an 811. Martin Perez is going to go good enough. Plus the Reds, they have the 26th MLB or 26 WRC plus with 73. So that's 26 in the MLB. Sorry, I butchered that. And then my dog. This honestly could have been the lock. It's the Brewers -1.5 against the Detroit Tigers, plus 125. Everything just spoke to me about this game. The Tigers have been putrid against left-handed pitching. It's a perfect Eric Lauer bounce back spot. He's faced like very tough competition so far this year, and now he's getting the worst offense in the league against left-handed pitching. And the Brewers, they're going to do just enough to win this game by 2 or more runs.
Okay, love all of that. Munaf, what do you have?
I have the same lock as Noah. Rangers -130 on the money line. I'm not going to regurgitate everything that he just said. A better pitcher. Offense that is struggling against left-handed pitching, which is the Cincinnati Reds. Bottom 4 in most of the statistical categories on offense against left-handed pitching for the Reds. Rangers -130, lock that up. And for my dog, I'm gonna take the Pirates. Give me the +120 on their money line. I'm gonna fade the Dodgers here. I'm not gonna bag Noah Syndergaard. I think that we talk about it every time we see Syndergaard on the pitching docket, that you're going to be able to steal bases against him. And it hasn't been a secret since he's returned to the league after the injuries that he dealt with. We talked about it last season as well. Pirates are a hot team right now. I thought they would fall off a little bit offensively without O'Neal Cruz, but they look good. I just like the value on this Pirates team at +120, especially the way that they've been playing. So I think they'll be able to steal this one against the Noah Syndergaard, who is 0-4. Or the Dodgers are 0-4 in this 4 start so far this season.
He's used the words docket and the word rampage in the same podcast. This is absolutely outrageous from Munaf tonight. Right, I don't know if I'm allowed to do what I'm about to do, Munaf. You might have to judge. You'll have to be the arbiter on this. My luck, and it's a team right, boys. It's Texas on the money line at -130. Boy. What you all pointing? Oh yeah, sorry.
We gotta do this. We have to.
Oh, he's gonna get Noah's getting his trumpet out.
There we go.
Very good. All right, so my dog is Texas on the run line at +130. How are we feeling about this, Munaf? Is this controversial?
Oh my God.
What are you laughing at? I don't understand the problem.
So if they win by 1, you'll push on your unit, and then if they win by 2 or more runs, I can't. You have to pick another lock. I'm sorry, I can't let you.
Another lock.
Yeah.
No, can I pick another? I'll pick another dog. Bollocks to you.
It can't be the same pick.
All right. Okay. Just establishing. We've got to have a system.
Fucking games on the docket. This guy wants to
Stop saying docket like it's a word normal people use. Right. Okay. I tell you what, if I was a listener to this show, if I got in the van yesterday and stuck this on, the case Noah made for the Brewers and Eric Lauer was it was beautifully presented, and it sold me. Absolutely sold me. So yeah, I'll take I can't believe the price. I'll take the Brewers on the run line. He said +125, so that's what I'm going to take. What are we laughing at now, Noah?
Just because.
Oh God, we've lost him, Munaf. I've never seen him like this.
He goes from we're all taking the Rangers, so you gotta switch it up. You know what? Noah made a great point on the Brewers. We're gonna go with that pick too. We've got like 4 total picks in this Locked On.
Actually, I'll tell you something, right? That'll appropriate. On the front of my jotter here, I wrote, wear it there. You won't be. I wrote on there on Saturday night, no one wins unless everybody wins. So if at some point we can't take the same picks, then I think we're all shot. This is a community here, Noah. So you should be like delighted that I've taken your handicap and run with it.
Hey, I am. I am delighted. I thought it was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing.
I'm gonna change my lock. No way. All 3 of them are on the Rangers money line, and that means everybody go put your money on the Cincinnati Reds. Okay, I'm going first. This probably number is gonna be 5.5. Give me the White Sox and the Blue Jays over. You have 2 atrocious pitchers on the mound. Lance Lynn and Jose Barrios. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to take the over 9.5 there.
Oh, holy shit. Well, that was it. We were doing quite well for time then, but that's taken us about 7 minutes to knock out those lock and dog picks. That was incredible.
Do we need to repeat our picks?
Well, Texas money line. Texas
Malcolm and I
line.
have the same lock and dog.
Oh God! What? Okay, so my
Munaf, you told me weeks ago I was allowed the same lock and dog because I changed it one night because Dylan had the same, and you said I should have the courage of my convictions and keep it.
Fine.
So I have.
Yeah, so that's fine if you believe it. I just feel like every time there is a triple lock on any show on the network, it goes the other way. So,
okay.
So to benefit you guys, I'm gonna change my pick. I do like the Rangers. I still will be betting them for the sake of the show. I am gonna go with the over as the 9.5 over in the White Sox and the Blue Jays game as my log, and then my dog. I am gonna stick with the Pirates money line, but a bonus dog I'll give you. Also do like the Diamondbacks run line -1.5 plus 140.
All right, if we're doing bonus dogs, I gotta get away from the double lock with Malcolm. I like the Phillies plus 105.
I like how everybody ran the other way as soon as everybody picks.
I've become mildly the last 2 minutes, boys. Not as offended as I was as when I was drafted 16th the other day. The 16th round, by the way, not 16th. I was drafted in the 16th round in the Newcastle Knights draft. But that was less offensive than you two changing all of your picks just because I've said out.
So what is that, 32nd or 48th?
Yeah, one of those. So, yeah, thanks everyone who was in the YouTube chat. Loads of names in there, as per usual, and good company as always. Back tomorrow night, some combination of us three and Dylan. So yeah, good luck with all your bets. That was loads of fun. Until tomorrow, we'll see you on the road. Cheers.